My name is Jim Winkler. I'm the Vice President of Sales for the company, and I'm an Executive Field Vice President in the compensation plan. And I want to share with you tonight is, and I don't expect this to take much longer than 20 minutes to half an hour, is really for the guests, what do we do when we get started? Or for that new person, what do we do when we're getting started so we know how to get this up and running? And we've started doing this on our Thursday nights after we finish the business plan. So a guest who's interested can see that coaching and can see what we're going to do and help that new person get that sort of jump start on going. So let me share my screen right here, and then I'll pull up the PowerPoint and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, great. So this is called a Getting Started Right training. And, really that's a key to everything we do in the business. I'm a big believer in coming out of the business the correct way. And it's really important we have the right mindset as we do it, because if you change your thoughts, you of course can change the world. So we're going to get our thoughts in the right method and right way of doing things as an unfranchised owner. The unfranchised business model is a systemized approach to creating profitable and stable retail-driven business. And the tasks we ask you, the new unfranchised owner, to do have been proven out over the past 28 years, almost 30 years now. And it takes into account the ever-changing buying habits of customers. So as I'm going through this, what I'm going to try to share with you is what would we do? How would we get this going? Because there's certain fundamentals that we have. And those fundamentals are so important to be able to implement. Fundamentals that all potential unfranchised owners need to implement before they enter owning an unfranchised business. Some of the things you can do, you should take part in a trial run experience where you identify people and have your business partners see if they would qualify for the business. It's an evaluation process to really take a good look at this, sort of to test drive it before they start off. I've found over the years that a lot of my best people were people who are customers who then became business partners because they already loved the products, so they had a love of the products, which helped out so much. Sometimes it was people who saw the business plan, like I'm going to explain right here. It's where they see it, and you can see that business plan. It can be experienced in a one-part, a two-part presentation. Sometimes people will show just the beginning, and the second part is just the compensation. I did it all as a one-part just previous to this. But the key is that they see it, and really you should see it a second time. You should see it a third time. But rather than you just having to see it by yourself, what we're talking about is when you see it that second time, invite someone else to evaluate it with you. Invite someone to take a look at this business with you. And then the third time might be them inviting some people to take a look at it. And keep it really simple. People always ask me, how would you, if you were a guest, Jim, how would you ask someone to evaluate it? Being a guest, it's the simplest thing in the world. What I would do is I'd say, hey, I'm taking a look at a business. I think it looks good, but I'd like another set of eyes on this. Would you evaluate it with me? If it's something you see as a good business, you may know some of the right people to direct me to, or maybe something could even be for you. But either way, my approach is going to be, I'm evaluating it. I would like you to evaluate it with me. To take a look. And if they like what they see, it's the same exact approach. You ask them to evaluate and get some people to evaluate it with them. Well, then suddenly it starts to make sense, because if they've got people who are already liking what they see, it just makes sense to get started. And again, one of the reasons I've always loved customers coming in the business, because they've already experienced those 2 to 3 Market America exclusive brand products. In fact, the more products you have a person that they've tried, the better. Because then when they come on, I mean, things like our auto ship program. When I started, my auto ship was so easy. Guess what I put on auto ship? I put on the products I had been buying at retail, and now I'm getting them at cost. So instead of somebody looking at it saying, oh, is that costing me? I was looking at it saying, that's saving me money because I'm getting these products at cost now. Did I think I could talk about the product? Yes, I did. Why? because I'd already used them. I'd already had some great benefits from the products. So I felt it was pretty easy to talk about it. We want to lead to establishing those 10 repeat customers. So this is what we're talking about. When we talk about getting started correctly or getting started right, first part of it is how you see the plan, making sure you see it 2, 3 times, making sure that you have people evaluate it with you. Make sure that you've started on some products or test market and tried some products. It is not, I mean, you wouldn't buy a restaurant before you tried the food. Am I correct on that? You'd want to make sure it's a high quality and that you could recommend it. And you know, if you're putting that capital investment into it, no different with our business because you're putting time into it. Time is more important than money a lot of the time. So you want to make sure you're looking at the business the right way. And the reason I can say this with confidence to all our guests on here or the people who've just started is because I know the more somebody, I really believe in my heart, the only reason someone doesn't get started is they don't understand the business plan. And if they saw it that third time, they would probably catch it. Because I'll be honest, I didn't understand everything till my third time. And I probably even then didn't understand everything, but I understood a lot more than I did the first time. So there's people who will walk away because they've only seen it once and they didn't catch the leveraging aspects of it or the volume placement or all the things that can be done when you're maximizing your business that they need to take a look at with that. And generating customers is just one of those. We have something called a getting started guide, and a getting started guide is something you can download from our unfranchised.com back office. If you're a guest, it's something that one of your teammates could send over to you. They could send it as an attachment so you'd be able to look at it. They could go through it with you on Zoom so you can see that. I'm going to share a little bit of it with you now, but this document consists of a standardized, coordinated, and systematic actions that, when completed in a timely manner, can result in fundamentally sound and consistent growth within your sales and distribution organization. So what does that mean? It means this is how we build the team. Okay, we need a way that everybody can follow, because if everybody does different things, then we won't succeed. But if everybody does a result producing activity that has proven to be successful and that can duplicate to other people, then we have the potential to create something really special. And that's where the Getting Started Guide and some of the other tools I'll talk about come in. So when developing your unfranchised business, then you got your why and your goal statement. So the first part is developing it. The second part is your why and goal statement, which includes an action plan for that first 4 to 6 months, and then follow up. So whoever is going to start you in the business is then going to follow up with you 3 to 7 days from the registration and start implementing those basic 5 fundamentals, which we'll talk about some more as we go through this presentation as well. So let's talk about these developing your unfranchised business, the first sort of the starting point of what we would do in that Getting Started Guide. And the first part of it is the commitment stage. And this is where hopefully the person can get questions answered. So if you're a guest watching this, by the way, I know for myself, I know for Dennis, Franks, who many of you know, we both prefer, if we can, to go through this part of it before someone starts, because then the person the guest that's looking at it knows what's expected when they get started. So one of the first things I've always asked is, are you willing to follow a proven business plan for a minimum of 12 months? I'm really not interested in somebody who wants to do it for a month and see if it works. I'm looking for someone who will give it a 12-month commitment to doing that. After that, do what you want. In fact, I've always told people, if you're not happy at the end of a year, please, at that point, walk away. We don't have like a cell phone contract or anything, but I also don't believe, if you don't give it a year, I don't believe you really know what you're doing yet. By giving it a year, you'll know if this is going to build into what you want it to build into. So make that commitment of 12 months. Commit 8 to 15 hours a week of focused time. Some people have asked me, can I do it in less time? I'm busy. I got a lot going on. And in fact, I think that's what I said when I was looking at this. The answer is yes, you can. But you've got to be really focused. But I'll also tell you, if you try to do it in 2 hours, it's going to take longer than it's going to take if you do it in 8 hours. If you do it in 15 hours, it's going to be shorter than if you do it in 8 hours. So the more time you can put into it, you quicken the pace of the business. And I'll tell you what happened for me when I looked at it. I said, I don't know if I can put more than 5 hours a week in. But once I started putting some time in and I started seeing results coming back, like anything in life, when I saw what was happening, I said, okay, I'm going to squeeze another couple hours in there. Then I saw more happening. I said, I'm going to squeeze a couple more hours in there. And I started realizing I could do it around different things. And then I started organizing my time to put time into my business. But it was great because I didn't have to leave my job, as I mentioned earlier tonight. I could build it around there. Sometimes I felt like I was building it while I was at work, which was great too. It felt like getting paid twice while I was doing it, because sometimes I'd have coworkers who are buying products from me or wanting to learn about the business, and we might be talking in between during a break at work. The next thing would be attend your next scheduled GMTSS event. So great time for you to be looking at the business. Now everything's on Zoom. So you have the ability to talk to whoever's invited you tonight to take a look at this. Make sure you have a ticket to that next local seminar. Zoom local seminars, I think, are only about $15. It's incredibly expensive. It's less than going to McDonald's, I think. So you can get a full day of training, a full day of learning by attending one of those. And what's great is you can now do it from the comfort of your home. We've got a world conference that'll be coming up in March, which again, I would recommend everybody get a ticket to that. But again, if you're coaching somebody, so I guess I'm talking to the guest tonight and I'm talking to that person who's coaching that guest. This is where you want to tell them, okay, here's the date it's coming up. Now, what if they say I can only make it for an hour? I can only make it for 2 hours. I would say that's fantastic. It'll be well worth the $15. I mean, I've had people who, when we do them as live events, they're $30, who drove an hour to get there, could only spend 2 hours, and then had to leave at lunch and drive back an hour. And I said, it's well worth your time, because to get in front of this is so important, to see more people doing it, to learn more about what's going on with the business is just absolutely vital to guests. Number 4, listen and view a minimum of 2 audios or videos per week, recommended from our Unfranchised Learning Center. Now, when you start in unfranchised.com, we have something called a Learning Center, which will walk you through, again, just like this Getting Started guide, exactly what you need to do. And we've, on our YouTube station, our Market America YouTube station, there's some tremendous videos to be able to watch. And on your cell phone, you can download an app which will give you some great audio. So whether you're running on a treadmill, whether you're walking outside, whether you're cleaning the kitchen, you have the ability to pick up and learn while you're doing that. And by putting things into your mind, you're sort of learning how this business works. I know when I was new, I listened to as much as I could. We didn't have as much on video then. There weren't things like YouTube available when I started, but we did have a lot of audio learning. And I would listen nonstop because it was almost like I was learning a new language. It was the first time I'd ever owned a business. I never owned a business where it wasn't a traditional business, of having a storefront. This was working from home. So I had to really pick up a lot quick. So the more I listened, the faster I picked up those different things. Number 5 is develop a names list of 60 to 100 names. Now, I got to tell you, when this first happened, one of the things that the guy told me, he said, you need to develop a names list. I thought, well, I don't want to give them a names list. We can bug my friends and family. These are my friends and family, and I don't want you bugging them. In fact, I had a lady, and she said I had to come up with 300 names and numbers. And I thought, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why would I do that? But I did it because I was very serious about developing a business, and I really, really wanted to be able to do that. Now, why would we have you do that? Because again, we're in that names list. I don't want you to think of convincing people. I don't want you to think of anything other than who could I have evaluate this business. I think the easiest way to say this is we're looking for people who are looking. We're looking for people who are wanting. We're looking for people who are willing. We don't want to convince someone to do it because we have to convince someone to do it. We'll have to convince them to do everything. I mean, when I got this, it wasn't you had to convince me, it's you couldn't hold me back. I wanted to get going on this. And the more I was around it, the more I wanted to do with it. But yet your names list is your inventory. It's your people that can lead to customers. It's your people that can lead to potential business partners. And we always approach everybody with respect. We approach them the way they should be approached. We ask them to evaluate and learn. And from there, some people will be interested personally. Some people will think of other people. Some people will become customers. Some people will think of other people who could become customers. So it's so important to have that so you and your team can work together to talk to those people. Then our goal is to develop 10 to 15 repeat purchasing preferred customers of our Market America exclusive branded products. So what we're trying to do there is develop 10 customers who order our exclusive products on a regular basis. Now, most of the exclusive products come in a 30-day supply. Some will come in a 90-day supply. Our goal is to get them ordering that on that monthly or quarterly basis, depending on what size they're ordering. Because once they get into a habit of doing that, once they see results from our products, I've got customers who started ordering from me in 1997. You talk about ongoing customers who order from me today, or 1998, who order from me today. It really is incredible. People say, why didn't they start the business? Maybe they didn't want to. You know, I have a lot of customers who have become business partners, but I have a lot more who just want to be great customers. And that's a great thing to have as well. By the way, you don't have to stop at 10 customers. I mean, you can go on, you can develop 20, you can develop 50. I've got people who have in the hundreds of customers who order on an ongoing regular basis. And that just develops more volume and more retail profit and more commissions ultimately, and more business partners ultimately as well. And then learn and practice our basic 5 fundamentals. We have something we call the basic 5. I'm going to touch on that on a slide or two down the way, but there's videos you can watch. There's basic 5 trainings you can go to, which I would recommend as well. And then implement what we call our master unfranchised owner criteria. So base 10, 7 strong, master unfranchised owner, those would sort of be the tracks to run on once you get the business up and running. To know what to do, and then convert your spending and earning. So change your buying habits. What you're buying at other stores, buy from your own business. What you're buying from stores online, buy from our stores online. Or it could be a store you're already buying from that now you purchase from with your own store. Then go on and with your why and your goal statement. List the primary reasons why you're building your business. You know, for me, it was real simple. I wanted to spend more time with my kids. I was traveling 3 out of 4 weeks. I was gone Tuesday through Friday, 3 out of 4 weeks. And my why was very strong. I wanted an extra income initially. I thought if I could make an extra $10,000 a year, you know, a little bit less than $1,000 a month, boy, would that give me some security. Because even though I had a good position in corporate America as a vice president of a company, I always think you're one person's decision from being gone. So you need to have multiple streams of income. But what I really wanted was I wanted to find a way. The reason when I ended the last presentation, I said, is it enough? No matter how much money I was making, if I was gone all the time from my kids, it wasn't enough. So I was trying to figure out what could I build that could give me more time back. And that was my guiding why on this. For some people, it's to make an extra $300 a month or an extra $1,000. That's a great why. Whatever yours is great. You know, what are your personal goals you want to achieve with the business? One of the things I liked was I love being around positive people. This allowed me to be around more positive people. So I had goals on fitness and getting in better shape. I had goals on books I would read. Income I wanted to earn as an additional income, I already mentioned. Review your daily tasks and activities that you're going to be doing, and then build that foundation of base 10-7 strong. And what base 10-7 strong is developing 10 customers, okay, who are ordering a minimum of 40 BV. And again, I always say 40 BV. When you look at 40 BV, 40 BV is like our daily essentials packets. So which 1 month supply is 40. That's our OPC, our multivitamin, our calcium B complex all together. in a daily packet that you have 10 people doing. That's 10 people you know who take supplements. Now we're in those. That's 400 BV. And then you producing a minimum of 100. Well, then you're producing 500 BV between your 10 customers, okay, who are doing 40, you producing a minimum of 100. I will tell you, the longer you're in the business, the more you learn about the products, probably the more volume you'll produce, because you'll learn why certain products are valuable, and you'll convert more things in your home over with that as well. Well, if you're producing 500 BV and you've taught Mark and Megan and Kate and Kevin, Ann and Ben and Chris how to produce 500 BV, what's happening? Well, that's 1,500 BV that's coming up each month with just 10 customers and with just using 100 BV each. Now, why is that important to understand? Because 1,500 BV gets you a $300 commission check. At 12 and 12, you get a $300 check. Well, if the products are consumable and are reordered every month, that means now you have a $300 check that is coming in on a monthly basis with 3 people on the left, 3 people on the right with 10 customers. And we just repeat that. So what do we do with Chris? Chris, we want, as you identify somebody, we want you to teach them to have 10 customers minimum, doing 40 BV and using 100 BV. Well, if we keep repeating that, you can see with a small group of people, you can start to generate some very, very nice supplemental income into your life and retail profit on top of that, as well as our commissions we talk about. When we talk about implementing the basic 5, as I mentioned before, so I hope everybody understood the base 10. 7 strong, by the way, means you plus 3 on your left, 3 on your right. I should have stated that as I went through it, but base 10, 10 customers minimum. 7 strong is you and 3 on the left, 3 on the right. That's our minimums to start really earning that nice extra income. And then our basic 5 that I've been talking about is attitude and knowledge, goals and an action plan review, retailing, prospecting, qualifying, and sponsoring, and then follow up in the ABCs of building depth. So there's 5 different parts on this. We actually have videos on this. We have trainings on this, but it's really the foundation and fundamentals that the company was built on by our owner, J.R. Ridinger, who set this up and put this into place for us to be able to build our business. And I would tell you that you would want to get to a basic 5 training as soon as possible. And I would recommend getting to a new unfranchised owner training in your first month as well, so that you're picking up these different areas of building your business. So it's not complicated. What did we really talk about here? We talked about paying attention, right? Let's go back. Let's jump back here for a minute. And let's talk about main things we talked about. Making a commitment, saying I'll do 8 to 15 hours, attending the next scheduled GMTSS event, listening or watching 2 different things a week, developing a list of 60 to 100 names, developing 10 repeat customers, learning and practicing the basic 5 fundamentals, implementing our master UFO criteria as you learn that, and then convert spending and earning. So here's what I would tell you to do on top of all that. I would tell you to get with your teammates that are introducing you and get more people in front of the business. Set a goal. Can I get 2 evaluations done per week? 2 people to evaluate this per week. Can I do something on Zoom where I invite maybe 6, 8 people to it, and I have one of my teammates do a first look? And from there, we see if those 6 or 8 want to see the compensation plan after going through everything up to the compensation plan. Then during the second look, sharing how the business works with them and have them bring maybe some people to look at it at that point. Would you be willing as a guest? So as a guest, one of the things I'd recommend is doing a Zoom product presentation. Having a business partner, invite some people to learn about our products. Understand that if your business partner does all the work, so as an example, if I had a new partner, one of the things I'd recommend is invite some people, tell them it's going to be fun, it's going to be educational, they'll learn about some products they can't buy in stores, they can only get through us because they're exclusive and unique. And tell them that that night we're going to give them that information, and they'll have the ability, if they like what they see, to purchase products. And I always do it at a discount for people who come on that initial night, because I want to get my new person as many customers as possible. I'm going to do all the work. They got to do the work of inviting them. I have to do the work of the presentation. And from there, if 6 people buy and purchase products, guess what happens? My new person has 6 customers. Now, I may have done all that work, right? But when they buy next month, who do they buy from? They buy from my new business partner. Does that give them confidence? Yes, it does. Does it train them when they see it? Yes, it does. I know I'm spending some time on this because I want you to understand, by generating customers for your new people, by getting the business in front of other people, you're doing the work, but you're teaching them at the same time you're doing the work, and you're setting up for yourself ongoing volume and ongoing business. So work with your sponsor and their teammates. Be coachable. Do the homework we talked about. Act with urgency. If you want to go fast, put more time in. Be passionate. For me, one of the sayings I know both Lisa and I love is live with passion. Be committed. If you say you're going to do it, do it. If you say you're going to give it 12 months, give it 12 months. This isn't a do it for a day and then forget about it. Yes, you can do it very part-time, but do it the right way part-time. Have fun. It is really actually a very fun business. It's a very uplifting business that you get to have. And how do you know when the timing's right? So I guess right now I'm talking to the guests, and I guess I'm talking to the people who have guests on. I always think, the timing's right when you think, what do I have to lose? And what do I have to gain? I know when I looked, I said, what do I have to lose? Well, I'm a customer already. I'm buying the products already. So what do I have to lose? Nothing. Zero loss, because I'm actually getting the products at cost. I actually told the guy showing it to me, I said, I don't understand why every customer doesn't do this. At least try it, because I'm saving $138. Either way, I'm saving money that I would have been spending on retail by starting my business. If I never did anything, I'd be ahead. Of course, that's not the way I want anyone to approach it, is never doing anything. But to me, it was a mindset of there's no way to lose. And then what do you have to gain? I looked at it, okay, what if I make that extra income? Well, that's going to give me some great peace of mind. But what if it works? What if it really works? What if it takes off? What if I find 2 people who are as passionate as I am, or who want it even more than I do? What's going to happen then? And I started thinking bigger on what I could do with it. What could it be if it matched my income? What could it be if it exceeded my income? And I started really in risk versus reward. Almost no risk, huge potential. Why wouldn't I get started? It's just a no-brainer to me. It still is a no-brainer to me on getting started. I hope this was helpful for everybody. I wanted to make it relatively quick, keeping it about half an hour. I hope for the guests, you have a good idea on how you could get yourself started and what you could do. We look forward to working with you. We look forward to helping you in any way possible to getting your business going and running, and enjoy it and take off and do something great with it. Thanks for spending tonight with me, for being on here. And if you were on earlier, great to have you on as well. Stay happy, stay healthy, and look forward to seeing everybody soon. Take care. Bye-bye.